guys, Helen Hartsmith here again from the Heart of the Witch's Path YouTube channel. Hope you're having a good day. I'm doing all right. It's another book review time. I am trying to catch up myself for my reading challenge for 2020 on Goodreads. So I've been reading like a fiend. So I've got another book to share with you today. And this one is, I actually don't have a copy of the physical book. I've found some new age books on audio. And audiobooks work really well for me because I have a commute to work. And sometimes, depending on what I'm doing at work, sometimes I have an opportunity where I can listen to them during the day as well. So sometimes I can get through an audiobook much faster than I can get through reading a physical book, okay? So I happened to find this particular book on audio, and I wanted to check it out because I was a little unsure. Audiobooks for new age books, they're a little hard to come by, but I think people are, companies are understanding that there's an audience for that. And so I think more and more are coming out. And so I wanted to try one and see how did it work, because sometimes with a witchy book, I need to hold the physical copy and highlight it and make notes in it to completely digest it. So I thought, we're going to try this audiobook, and I ended up getting an e-copy of the book. So I actually have it on my tablet here. So the book that I'm going to review is called Angels and Archangels, The Western Path to Enlightenment by Damien Eccles. I'm going to show you the screen. I don't know how well it's going to show up, but I want to at least try to show you what the cover of the book looks like. So hopefully that isn't too weird. I know sometimes video on video doesn't work well. But so Damien Eccles is really an interesting individual, and I've been wanting to read one of his books for a while now. I heard about Damien Eccles actually through Kathy. Damien was, I think, ooh, if I get this wrong, she's literally going to knock me out. Damien Eccles was involved in the West Memphis 3 murder case. I hope I'm saying that right. If not, I'm really sorry. I don't really follow true crime in any way, but Damien sat on death row was in prison for 18 years and sat on death row. I think it was for 10, at least 8, if not 10 of those 18 years. And he was in solitary confinement, and he spent his time while in prison, a great chunk of his time, doing magic. He is a ceremonial mage, so he works ceremonial magic, otherwise known as high magic. And I thought that it would be really cool to kind of get to know him through his magical practice. And so Damien actually has a book out called High Magic that I would probably suggest that if you don't have a background in high magic, you might want to read that first. I didn't read it first, but I have a little bit, a year of my temple training was involved in high magic. So I had a working knowledge of what things like the LBRP was and the Rosy Cross ritual, things like that. So I wasn't completely lost when reading this particular book. But I would suggest that if you want it, and you might be able to read through this, okay? I don't know, but just as a warning. Okay, so what this book involves is Damien's work with angels and archangels in his practice. And I thought it was a really interesting book because I enjoyed the way that he presented the information. He has obviously done his homework when it comes to working with angels and archangels. And he actually cited work by authors like John Michael Greer, Silver Ravenwolf, folks like that. And so that let me know that he had done his research. So that was kind of cool. I appreciated the fact that he took the time to present. I like to know correspondences. I like to know what colors work well with an entity or being. I like to know what stones work with an entity or a being. And he did that. He shared that information. Talked about robes and colors and how they would be, how the angels would be, how they might present themselves to you. And so I thought that was incredibly helpful. He also took the time to talk about the individual archangels for the Sephira for the Tree of Life. And he went into each one of those in a way that just really, really spoke to me and in a way that makes sense. I do not identify as a ceremonial mage, but like I said, I have experience from the time in which I studied ceremonial magic during my temple training. Next, he talks about the angels that go along with the tarot cards of the major arcana, started there, and went into the minor arcana, which I thought was incredibly detailed, and I appreciated all of that time spent. Now, he also, from there, he gets into the more technical things in how to work with them in ritual. And I'm not going to like super delve into that here because it's still stuff that like I said, I'm not an expert in, but I can tell by the way that he broke things down and the way that he explained things that he knew what he was doing. He shared his experiences in working these rituals, that some of them were 3 hours long, some longer. And so I feel like he did a great job of making it kind of an obtainable thing for someone starting off to work with, to like build up to, I guess is what I want to say. And so I thought that was like really commendable. And he talked about talismans and sigils, shared sigils for each angel and things like that. And those things are available. But it's kind of nice because this puts it all in one book, so to speak. And I'm kind of almost, I actually might purchase the book, to be honest, just to have everything in one location that I know that I can go flip to and be able to find what I'm looking. If I'm looking for the sigil for Zadkiel, for instance, I can go find it very easily, in this book. So, yeah, it's definitely something that I'm thinking about. Now, I know that a lot of times often when I do a book review, I try to share with you some of the pertinent information as far as like the physical information about the book. I haven't seen a physical copy of this, so I'm not sure like the dimensions of the book to give you any of that kind of information. But I can say that the app that I use for reading, it gives you pages. That isn't set up in the same way as a physical book would be. But this, oh, I should have located this sooner. I believe, oh, there it is. Hold on. This book is copyright 2020, so it's new this year. As far as the pages in this book, in my app, it says that it's 227 pages. Now, I also have the e-reader copy of this book, Psychic Witch, that I reviewed last week, I think it was. So in the e-reader format, the book is 317 pages or something along those lines, and the physical book is 216 roughly pages. So for this book, the e-reader is showing about 100 pages more. So if I'm using that loosely, then this book is probably about 127 pages. So it's not a super big book. But if, depending on the size of the pages and stuff, it could skew it one way or another. But just to kind of give you an idea of when it was published and how thick it is. It's a really good book. And like I said, if you're interested in angel magic, or if you're interested in high magic, ceremonial magic, then I suggest that this book is probably something that would be really beneficial for you in your practice and in your study. So for me, let's talk brooms now. For me, there's some valuable information in there. I hadn't thought about how many brooms to give it. I was just excited to talk about it. I think I'm going to give this book a three stars. Or 3 brooms, sorry. And the reason that I'm going to do 3 brooms is because I'm not a practicing ceremonial mage. I do work with some angels, but I don't do a lot of angel work. So while maybe something's telling me 3 brooms, I keep going back and forth whether I should do 3 or 4, because it's a very good book. It's a good book if you're going to use it in your practice. And I don't know that I would use it. Like I said, I'm considering purchasing it. I don't like to do halves. I'm going to do 3.5 just because I keep straddling this 3 and 4 brooms. It's a very good book, but it's not necessarily something that I'm going to use a lot in my particular practice. So I'm going to split and I'm going to do 3.5. Okay. There you go. There's a book review. Angels and Archangels. Is that right? Angels and Archangels, The Western Path of Enlightenment by Damien Eccles. Check it out if you're so interested. Like I said, it was a good read, not necessarily something that I'm going to use a whole lot in my practice. So if you enjoyed this video or learned something from it, you know what to do. Thumbs up, wee. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. I will put a link to purchase the book in the description box. There are also other links there for social media. Have you read this book? If so, what did you think about it? Is this something that might be interesting for you in your practice? Let me know in the comments below. Okay? I think that's going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching. Thanks for taking the time to walk the path for a while with me. Until next time, blessed be.